Hello, my loves, and welcome to Girl Let's Agree to Disagree. Hey, Kemi girl.
Hey, girl.
What's up, my love? How are you doing?
I'm good. You know, the eviction did not work out the way that I hoped it would.
My love, how are you doing? Are we good?
You know, the
I'm hearing like back. What is that called? How are you doing? Are we?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you hear it? I'm hearing like back. What is that called? How are you doing? Are we? Yeah, I don't know. Do you hear it? I'm hearing like back. Okay, so we're having some technical difficulties. Yeah, everybody hears it. Do you all hear the echo? Okay, so we're having some technical difficulties. Yeah, everybody hears it. Do you all hear the echo?
Do you have like the open in a different window or something?
Yeah, everybody hears it. Do you all hear the echo?
Do you have like the open in a different window or something?
Yeah, everybody hears it. Let's see. Okay. How does that sound now?
It sounds good to me.
We'll edit this all. Hannah's not here yet, so maybe this is just a godsend. I don't know. But
wait, can everyone hear me? I see someone saying that I should put headphones in. I can put headphones in if you want, but can you guys hear me? Yes or no? Let me know.
Okay. While we're waiting, let me just start this over again. Welcome, everybody, to Girl Let's Agree to Disagree. We are excited to talk about today's episode, but first and foremost, as always, just doing a little bit of housekeeping right now. If you don't already, click like and subscribe to receive our notifications. Give this episode a thumbs up and share with people who you think would like this. Next week, we're going to start our episodes on Tuesday to start recapping The Bachelorette. So the 13th is the premiere of The Bachelorette. And so we're really excited about that. If that is something that interests you, check us out on Tuesdays. But we will be doing Thursday episodes, still covering Big Brother until the end of the season. So don't worry about that. But if you'd like to add on. Hannah's running a little bit late, so she's just going to catch up and we're going to start the show. Kemi, what? I guess we can start in the very beginning, but I kind of want to start from the back. I mean, from the very end. You know, Tyler's out.
Okay, so I'm not like a Tyler stan or anything. You know, I like Tyler. You know, we're friends. But, you know, I wanted Christmas to go home. Like, I just don't, I feel like she's one of those players that the longer she's in the game, the more entitled she feels, the more like she has like these delusions of her gameplay, sort of like Dani. Like Dani really thought she was, you know, Dr. Willing it or, you know, whoever else. And, you know, she was humbled in the jury. And I really want Christmas to like, especially after season 19 of her kind of skating through with like a bum leg. And now she's like making it like if she makes final 3, I'm just like, come on.
I kind of agree with that. I honestly, maybe it's because we know Tyler personally that we know that his intentions are in the right place and that he's genuinely a good person. That makes this so bittersweet because really we did want Christmas to go home.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, out of the two of them. Oh,
thank you. Okay. Thank you so much for the super chat, Querida Linton. Is that how it's pronounced? Because that querida means my love, like in Spanish. That's such a beautiful name. Querida. Querida Linton, come here glowing. Isn't she though? Because look, it's like you are perfectly glowing. I kind of didn't want, as soon as I saw her pop up, I was just like, okay, we're not doing the show. Like, I'm out of here, Kim. Like,
wait, hold on, Hannah is here?
Yes, my love. Oh, wait, did you do that?
Hi, hello. How are you guys doing?
We're good.
You look so great too. Look at all of this. That's great lighting.
Thank you. We got a new little setup in here. Thank you.
That looks really. Did you just re-dye your hair? Because it looks super red.
I was gonna ask.
I actually did like it's been like 6 or 7 weeks since I got it colored. I did a temporary mask, Moroccan oil makes one, and it's like a color depositing mask, and so I did that.
Ooh,
love that.
Color depositing mask. That sounds interesting. So you did not look much, Hannah. We were actually obviously just starting to talk about what happened in today's eviction, and we were just talking about we wanted to kind of start at the very end and be like, well, Tyler's gone. So and how we kind of feel about that. My question to you guys is, did Cody make the right decision? First of all, Cody didn't have a decision to make. The edit here made it look like I could make him leave at a snap of a finger. And that to me just sounded very cocky and very, I mean, you could tell that he's been in a high, he's just been up there so long that he literally thinks that this is his game. But what did you all feel about that? Did Cody make the right decision in having Tyler leave? Because Tyler seems to think so.
I mean, I think it was like annoying watching that, but I don't think it's really not true. Like it has been kind of Cody's game this whole time. Like, I think that if he wanted to change it, he could have. And I think he could have convinced them to go the other way. So like, it's annoying watching him in the DRs, like acting like that, but he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. And like, I mean, if he makes it to the final two and they don't give it to him, I feel like it would be one of those like Cody should have won sort of things. And you don't want that. And like, I don't want anyone to think I'm like distracted. I'm just constantly refreshing the Big Brother updates. I want to see who wins HOH. Yeah. But I agree that I kind of want this a little bit for Christmas to win so that Cody can at least maybe not go home, but definitely to feel some heat. Like, I want Cody to feel a little bit of heat. But I will say, like, at this point in the game, I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if Nicole makes final two. Like, everyone's just kind of gunning after each other, and she's just doing her thing, the same thing she did in season 18 and skating by. And you know what? I don't hate it, because if you find something that works, work it hard. Don't reinvent the wheel. Like, it worked for her so well in season 18, like, and it's working again.
Yeah. I mean, I would probably agree with that as well. I would love to.
And thinking about too, like talking about Nicole's game, can we talk about Dani's little segment in Jury where she was like, it was like this little comment and she was like, well, I mean, she's not playing like a winning game or whatever. There was some small little comment, something like that. And I was like, wow, we are bitter in there right now. Oh my God.
He came right back and was like, okay, but there's still some game left to play. And she's still in there, right? Ate her right up.
Let's definitely go back, because obviously I was thinking if they don't, they had to have, everybody was expecting to see a jury segment, right? Everybody was expecting it, because what kind of a boring episode would it be had you not seen this?
Seriously, they saved this episode, truly.
Jury for the win. We get to see Day again. I'm glad she got her margarita. She needed that.
Yes.
So
I miss seeing him too. Oh my God. Like, I didn't realize how long it had been and since we had seen him. Ugh, I missed him.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad the people that are in there right now.
Is this true?
Yeah, actually it is. Memphis has never been nominated. Cody has never been nominated. And so that might be probably a record, because I remember in past seasons, it would be very rare that nobody gets put up on, the block. Is that like, does that mean that they're playing an amazing game that's happening? Or
those three specifically are, yeah.
I mean, they are definitely the ones to be. I thought that maybe Enzo had a chance, but now, like, in terms of winning, but now that I think about it, if he stays with these final three, he put himself in a very bad position. He's
especially with that Drake segment.
Yeah.
I think the only person that, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you out. I'm a little bit behind.
I don't think the jury thinks that way either. Yeah, I think that they know that Enzo's not playing a good game.
I think the only chance he has is sitting potentially next to Nicole. And that would maybe be something that they could like go back and forth on, because neither of them have played a flashy game at all. But anyone else, it's just, I feel like the jury would just hand it over to whoever the other person was.
Yeah. I think Enzo's playing a very Cody game back when he was playing with Derek. He was pretty much playing that type of game where he just goes back to Cody. He had the second-hand man, the guy who just tells Cody absolutely everything. And I think that that Enzo needed something for himself. And while I understand that him voting out Nicole would probably just ruffle feathers with Cody and make that and break that bond, when you come down to it right now, there's a final five. Memphis looks like, Christmas is his number one, and then Enzo's his third, and then Cody, his number one is Nicole, and Enzo's the third. So even though he put himself to be in a good spot in final three, he hasn't secured and like for anybody to take him.
Yeah, he's no one's number one. And that's the problem, because some of these other people are multiple people's number one.
Absolutely. But let's go back to the jury. So I think that the biggest thing was Dani's bitterness and her little jabs at Nicole and how she was completely devastated about this Cody. Like this was like her ultimate blindside. But she says she was she was evicted because she was playing the best game out of everybody. Do we agree?
I feel like Dani was hurt personally by Cody voting her out and like Cody allowing her to go home. Like, and I'm not in for like I don't want to imply anything, but the best I guess comparison I can make is like if a guy breaks up with you out of nowhere and you completely didn't see it coming. That I feel like that is like the emotion that I'm seeing be expressed, because they're like no amount of soft lighting, nice music, PAs prepping you could hide the broken heart that was Dani walking into the jury house. Like it was like broken heart.
I know. Her voice like shaking. And it's interesting too. I think it goes to show like just how fuzzy the reads were for like people that were in the jury, like their reads on the house, because I think it was like two of them that were like, yeah, I think Dani's playing the best game in the house. And it's like, she's been crumbling since like week 4. And it's just, I think that just goes to show like how just confused most of them were with like the overall dynamic of everything that was going on there.
Absolutely. And it's funny because I would have probably said, yeah, Dani was playing the best game, but she just didn't know how to stop she didn't know how to stop being in everybody's ear. It's like, I get that you want to plant seeds, but this bitch was planting a whole fucking garden. Like, she was like, I don't know what she was trying to do. It was like, plant a couple of seeds, wait and watch them grow, and then kind of assess the situation. But don't just keep on talking to talk. People talk in that house. And I was very surprised that she actually wasn't out earlier, to be quite honest. But Davon looked insanely surprised. I think she was probably the most devastated out of everybody in that jury house. So I guess it shows.
Interesting to me how much Davon likes Dani. I didn't notice that all season until this like jury segment. Like, I didn't realize they were so close, I guess. But she really likes her.
Yeah, it kind of showed towards the end of Davon's like time being in the house. Like, I think Dani was one of the only ones that was like reaching out to her, as opposed to like some of the other, or like at least talking to her about like game and stuff. Right. So maybe that has to do with it. I don't know. But maybe also Davon just really doesn't like anybody else that is left in there. I don't know.
That's true. I mean, here says someone, Stephanie says everyone likes Enzo, so he'll win up against anyone except Cody. How do you
that's true.
I don't believe that. And I mean, maybe depending on how, maybe if it was a regular season, but these are all-stars. And I think that it takes a little bit more than you just liking someone to have them win all-stars. There has to be, even if Enzo's more likable than Cody, I think that when it comes down to it, it's going to be those final questions. And it's going to be like, what did you do? What was your big game move?
Yeah.
And if it's Cody did all of this and everything he said went, and then Cody's like, I did whatever Cody did or Cody wanted, then that's end game. Like, it doesn't matter how many people like Enzo more than Cody, because they don't really like despise Cody. They just don't care for him. And I mean, I'll go back to talking about like when I was in jury, had it been Mickey and Nicole Anthony, Mickey still would have won, and everybody loves Nicole Anthony, but Mickey just had the better record.
But you know what? I feel like the better comparison would be Mickey and Tommy, because I really compare Enzo's game to Tommy's, and I would have thought that Tommy would have won if he was in the final two against anyone. But of course, you know, I wasn't in jury. But that's what I thought at the time. I thought Tommy would win against anyone. So I thought before this jury segment, like, yeah, Enzo, he's in the best spot, just like Tommy. Like, anyone would vote for him. He's good. Just win one more comp and we're good. But after seeing this jury segment, it's like they're all, especially, I think the most interesting one to me was David. Like, I thought he and Enzo had a really good relationship, but I mean, I guess like that doesn't hold too much water when you're in jury and you have time to like talk to everyone about everything. And I don't actually know what you guys are allowed to and not to talk about in jury. Like, are you allowed to like talk about game if cameras aren't there?
Ooh, let's talk some tea, shall we? I'll tell you everything about the jury house. Absolutely. No. Well, in the jury house, there are no cameras, obviously. So we do have PAs that monitor us 24/7. So there's two PAs that are literally our babysitters. The rule is that we really shouldn't be talking game. So unless the PA is there or the camera people are there to record us talking game, we're not allowed to talk game. Anything else goes. Like, you can, we'll be able to drink on certain days. We can listen to music. We can watch DVDs, not TV. We still don't have our phones. I don't know if this year they're doing calls to family. We didn't get calls. So, I mean, that was everything. But in terms of game, the the only time we're able to talk game is when they come in. We watch, like you saw in the jury sessions, we get to see the comps. So we get to see the HOH comp and we get to see the veto comp. And then the person who gets evicted gives us whatever information. I mean, it could be real, it could be a lie. We don't know.
We talk game once or twice a week.
Yeah, we only get, technically. I mean, that's not to say that we don't. I mean, sometimes the PAs could go to the bathroom or we're like watching something, or I don't know.
So he goes to the bathroom and you're like, quick. Ella went home.
No. Sometimes the PA might be like, we'll be in the pool and the PA is like a couple tables down and like not listening to us, and there's music, and then we'll get into a heated discussion. Yeah. Ooh. You know, we could get into there was a lot of things that I always kept on. Okay, so Nick, I don't want to talk about him for too long, but Nick was he was constantly talking about how this the Grateful or whatever was like the best alliance in history, and that it could have made it, and like that half of the Grateful people were in jury, which means that they did a good job in the alliance, and had someone been evicted or someone had done the right vote, or had he not been fucked over, that he would have been in a better position. Those questions, like, and then we argue and then we argue, we're like, you're crazy, and so there was a lot of back and forth like that, and then PAs would come in and we're like, you're not supposed to talk about this, so like nip it in the bud. So they try.
Well, that's nice. So then all of the reactions that we saw today were, it's nice to know that they aren't like they're genuine. You don't know what they're going to say. You don't know what they're going to say. You don't know who's coming around the corner. You really don't. They just tell you, hey, sit there, and whoever the jury person is, they're going to come in. And so it is a surprise. None of that is scripted. And players can withhold information. So I mean, like for example, Christy didn't tell us she knew Tommy. So we were coming in and we didn't know, like, she was there a whole week and never told us that Tommy and her knew each other until he came into the house, because then she knew that his game wasn't in jeopardy. Like, but had he stayed into the final two, we would have never found out that they knew each other, because that would have been something that he would have said after the fact. Gotcha.
That's interesting, though, that they don't get any kind of like unbiased insight into what's happening. Like, it's all coming from word of mouth. Like, somebody made a good point in the comment. Like, I feel like you should be able to talk about everything to make the best decision. Like, if you're only getting certain people's perspectives, like, obviously you all don't have the best perspective because you're in jury. Like, you didn't know everything that was going on, or you would still probably be there. Like, that's just so weird.
Yeah. Just want to quick shout out to Baylin. Thank you so much for your super chat. And I'm so grateful. Thank you. I hate that word, but I'm going to say it. I thank you. It took me a whole year to even say that word, to be quite honest. Maybe like 9 months before I was able to say the word grateful, because I was like, they ruined this for me. But thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, it's still a game. People are still probably lying to each other in jury. Although I think if anybody would be lying right now, it would be Dani. And I'm thinking that it would be just to cover Cody up, because she may want him to win still, even though she's she's kind of heartbroken that her very best friend voted her out. I'm actually very surprised that she used those words.
Best friend?
Yeah, because I thought it was Nicole. I thought it was Nicole this whole time. I really did, for some strange. Am I crazy?
No. I feel like, it's like one of those, how animals like mark their territory? I feel like she felt like she sprayed her pheromone. Oh my God, not like that, but like how ants leave their scent places, and then it's like, okay, this is my whatever I just sprayed my ant pheromones on, and no ants come after. Like if another ant comes, then it's like, okay, that's all you. I feel like the Dani ant sprayed on Cody, and she thought it was all good, you know, he's loyal to me, not knowing that he was misted by Nicole's ant pheromones first, and she, you know, maybe she should have sprayed on Tyler. Who knows? But yeah.
She never trusted Tyler, like from the get-go. She literally, that whole thing about the tweets and everything, and like Tyler maybe or maybe not remembering that Dani like used to tweet about him during BB20, like it was just weird. Huh?
Did you ever see the tweets? Because I've never seen these tweets.
What tweets?
No, but I think Ovi like said he remembered or something. I don't know. I just know Taryn has talked about it. Because obviously I watched Taryn, I love him, but he talked about these ominous tweets where Dani would talk about like not liking Tyler in his game. So
gotcha.
I didn't know that, but I mean,
yeah, and she obviously feels like very. But it's going to be interesting seeing him come in there next, because she has said a lot of things. Like even last week when in the eviction, like referring to Angela as like his girlfriend, like, you know, Angela's name, just say her name. Like you'll know each other. I just thought that was so petty.
Yeah. Especially when we spent like half of every conversation talking about veganism and how they're all vegan and Angela's vegan cookbook. It's like not Tyler's girlfriend's vegan cookbook. Like, that was like, it was unnecessary shade, because I don't think, has Tyler even done anything outwardly towards Dani in the game to like even be sort of shady? Like people do shady things behind people's back, and then people do like outwardly shady things. Like me saying that I wanted to like hide the peroxide so that Kat's roots would stay dark. Like that's outwardly shady. But like if you just know someone doesn't like you and they haven't actually done anything, like I feel like why are you being unnecessarily like outwardly shady? Like it's weird when one person's outwardly shady and the other person isn't. It just makes like this person look crazy.
I think Tyler just viewed it as a game. Like, I don't think that he really realized that she didn't need to say it. And somebody's saying that it was not that big. It was just more of the tone. Like, maybe she didn't mean it that way, but that's the way it came across to me. And I saw a bunch of people on Twitter talking about it too. That's how it came across to me.
Yeah, I don't pick up on things like that as well. If he said, "Oh, your girlfriend" or "your girlfriend's cookbook," I don't know. I guess I wouldn't pinpoint that as shade. I'd be like, I would have to have Kemi next to me to point that they were shady toward me, and I'd be like, "What? That was shade?" But I mean, I don't know. I don't really pick up. I guess I don't pick up on shade because I rarely really give it. I mean, I don't really give it too much unless, I don't know.
I think it's just like somebody else said that in the comments too. It's just kind of like rude to an extent, like especially when you know their name. Like this has happened to me with like articles and things like that have come with like Ovi and I, and it's been, you know, an article where they asked both of us to do it. It wasn't just like an article about Ovi. It was like about like equal, and it'll still be like Ovi and his girlfriend. And I think that's rude too. Like, so I think it's just like, maybe that's a personal thing, but I think that's rude.
I mean, I remember one time when I was with the two of them and someone introduced like us all as Big Brother players. It was at a charity event. And it was like, oh, this is Tyler. He won second place in America's Favorite, and this is his girlfriend. And it's like,
she was there. Like
she whole got, oh, the camera, like, yeah, like she got fourth. It's not like, I mean, I don't know. But I do also think that the intent behind something, like holds the most weight. Like, it's not what you do or what you say. And like, for me personally, it's the reason why you did or said it. So like, if your intent is to be shady, then even if it doesn't come off shady, to me, it's going to be offensive because you were trying to be. You might not have had the follow through. You might not have been able to execute it. You need to work on that maybe. But if that's what you were trying to do, then it's like, oh, you were trying to hurt me. Okay, well now we have something to talk about. Like, I would still be upset regardless.
Absolutely. Thanks. Shout out to Tony Patrick. Thank you for the super chat. Throw away the whole season. Throw the whole season away. Love you, ladies. Well, this season, the best thing about this season is that it brought us three together.
Yes.
Hearts.
Very sentimental.
That is true. And we're not going away when the season ends either. We have more shows to cover, more things to talk about.
On Tuesday. The Bachelorette on Tuesday. I'm really excited about that. I am too. But this is going to be.
If you guys do watch The Bachelor, can you just let us know in the comments so we just can know how many of you guys watch The Bachelor, if you would be interested in seeing some Bachelor.
And if you don't watch The Bachelor, I know that Kemi and Hannah are way, way more involved in The Bachelor than I am, even though I watch it, but I'm just kind of I'll probably call myself a casual kind of. Mid-casual. I guess you can be. But I'm not involved in the Bachelor Nation Reddits or, I'm not following any of them. So I might not know the tea behind it. So I'm really excited to learn from you two. So if you don't watch The Bachelorette,
you guys, Jess is shading me because I check The Bachelor Reddit more than I check Instagram, more than I check my text messages.
Hannah, we'll talk and she'll be like, oh my God, Jess, I forgot. Did I go on The Bachelor Reddit today? Hold on. And I'm just like, oh, yeah. Okay.
It's so interesting. There's so many little connections between people that get cast on one season and then people that get cast on the next one. And then you try to figure out how they know each other. And it's just so interesting. I mean, it's my jam. I'm excited.
Well, he said, yep, I started on Rachel's season. And I actually started on Rachel. Well, I didn't start on Rachel's season, but that one was the one where I was mostly invested in. And then I started watching ones from previously and then obviously afterward. And all of the Bachelor in Paradise. If this was Bachelor in Paradise, I'd be having a effing ball. I really would. Because that is where the drama really, really is, I feel. Because it's almost like Love Island, but better.
Let's just save The Bachelor content for Bachelor.
Yeah, I could talk about this all night, but we need to move on.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Everybody said, they said, why don't you guys talk about podcasts as well? We're working on this. We just need the right audio. Podcasts need audio. But yes, let's go back to Tyler. Poor Tyler leaving, and he's never been in jury. There's been a lot of talk about him wanting to leave. And I actually liked Julie's questions because they're the questions that everybody was wondering. You wanting to leave, did that mess up your game? I thought that was a really good question. So did it? I don't think it messed up his game. I just think he was going to go either way.
I don't think so. Honestly, I think that what messed up Tyler's game is that he did not form as strong of emotional connections with some of the people in the house that he could have. And I think that that's what bit him in the butt, with this. And it's because he tried to reason with Cody and be like, you know what, Memphis is coming for me because he thinks I'm one of the strongest players. You're just as strong, the next strongest player. That's what you're who he's going to come for next. And we saw that got into Cody's head. But I think that Cody there was not that trust there. There was no trust there. And I think that's where Tyler messed up, was really establishing that, where he, would circle in and have a conversation with somebody, he should have circled back like 2 or 3 times. And that it just didn't seem like there was the same amount of like effort put into it that there should have been.
I agree. Yeah. I feel like, he wasn't as hungry this time as he was in his first season. Like, he came into his first season like a huge super fan. He had auditioned like 12 times. Like, he auditioned like multiple times.
Yeah.
Like, a huge fan of the show. He, just wanted to do well. And I think right now he's like at a place in his life where not to say that he didn't come in trying to win, but I feel like there really is no topping the game that he played in season 20. Like, it would be hard for him to top it. Like, I didn't even know about all of the stuff that was going on because I was a casual season 20. So I didn't even see all of the, like, him flirting with like every girl in the house, as like his gameplay, telling women that he loved them, and like just all this stuff. Like, I didn't see any of that. And I still thought he played a really good game. But again, I was a casual, sucker to an edit. But now he has like Angela, he has, a life set up for himself. I don't think, and he is known as like one of the greatest Big Brother players. I don't think that he came in with that same like hunger. Whereas like, I feel like someone like Memphis or someone like Cody, they're always being referred to as like the Robin to whoever won their season's Batman. And Tyler's not like that. Like,
No.
And honestly, like, I don't want anyone to come for me, but even if Cody does win this season, I don't think that he's going to be classed with like Dr. Will and Paul and like Tyler and Dan and
But he
Derek.
definitely thinks he's going to be.
That's not going to happen. It isn't going to happen. So Tyler's still going to rank higher than him. So.
And I just don't think like, I mean, I didn't see these seasons. Like, I didn't see Cody's first season. I didn't see like a lot of these icon seasons when they first happened.
Yeah.
But like, I just don't think people like really rank this cast up there with like some of those casts as well. So like, I feel like that comes into play too when you're like ranking these legendary players. Like, Cody really didn't like, I mean, he did. He managed everything, but like it really wasn't very hard for him, Like, I don't think he had to try that hard. People just kind of let him. I don't know why, but they did.
So we kind of saying that Cody's been Cody's been carried to the final two.
He carried himself, but like.
Yeah, because I mean, he has 3 HOHs, 3 vetoes. That's a lot of competitions. He, by far, is definitely a comp beast, just right there with Tyler. Not as lovable or, is that the word?
Well, I don't know. Like, personable, maybe?
Personable, yeah.
You love Cody, huh?
I don't know. Something about it just doesn't feel like, I just feel like none of them have put up enough of a fight against him.
You know what? That's why I feel like production should honestly let us in on the pre-gaming. Like, just let us know. Like, we all know that it happened. Just make it make sense for, like, all of us. Like, right now, it's just like, okay, we know that people pre-gamed. And, like, when you force people to connect the dots themselves, then instead of just telling us, then I mean, I don't know what you want us to do. Like, it's not like everyone's going to be like, okay, there was no pre-gaming going on. We're going to completely believe the edit. Perfect. Cody's playing this amazing game. Like, no, we know that there was pre-gaming. So just like, let us know the extent of it so that we know where to place the credit.
Yeah. And then I had this on here for a while. Elite said, and then the lie he made up that got back to Cody.
Yeah.
I think that really did him over because I really did think that he was going to stay, and kind of overplaying and not trusting that this was going to work out is kind of what his demise, so to speak.
Yeah, that and him leaking the alliance that Cody had already told Enzo. So no, I think you're totally right.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I personally don't feel that when you're on the block, look, you either have to go in having some type of having loyalty to a person and being able to trust somebody, because so many times in the Big Brother, in different seasons, you see it. People overplay. It's like you see where people would be safe, but then they like did something to, you know, to mess up their game. But then if they didn't do enough and they go, then it was like, but they didn't do anything. So you're kind of like in a rock and a hard place trying to figure out, is this going to be the best decision for
those things where it's like what Jess and I were talking about this earlier, like something only seems stupid if it doesn't work. Like if you throw a Hail Mary and it doesn't work, it's like, oh, why'd you even do that? Like, that's so dumb. But if you throw a Hail Mary and it works, it's like, wow, that was like epic. Like kind of like Jackson last season. If the whole Tommy thing didn't end up working out, it's like, okay, yeah, you really tried it. But it ended up working out. So it's kind of like, wow, that was, you know. Kind
of like Adam in Survivor in trying to figure out if that was an idol on the podium.
I thought it was too. When he said that, I was like, oh my God, please.
Okay, Jeff Probst, like him in that smirk, he said, all right, come try to grab it.
Yeah, you tried it. That was the
Jeff. He really just let him make a fool of himself doing that. But yeah, it's like Dan's funeral. Like if that wouldn't have worked, like we would just look back on that and be like, oh, that was funny. Like that was it.
This is a good one. Nemesser says Nicole is Cody's Victoria. I don't know about that. Victoria, I mean, even though Victoria did never win, well, she was kind of the one to be carried along in Cody's original season. She was the top three, the final three. I don't necessarily think Nicole is Cody's Victoria. I think Nicole is Cody's number one, and I think that Enzo is his number two. I think Cody is in a really good place to be taken either way if he has those as final threes. What I don't see right now is whether or not whoever wins HOH, unless it's Enzo and unless it's Nicole, which I don't think it will be Nicole. I think Nicole's a little too clumsy to win a comp like that, to be quite honest. She's too little and too clumsy to be able to like hold that basket up and, you know, and put all of those in. I don't know. I see Memphis winning it or Christmas.
Yeah. Memphis.
Okay. If we get down to the final three, and there's Nicole there and Cody, and say somebody else, and we'll say Enzo. Do we think that Nicole would take Cody, or do you think that she would realize that she holds like no chance against him?
I think that she's waiting for someone else to cut Cody. But if it comes down to it, she will 100% do it herself. She said, I have a wedding to pay for. I am not taking any chances. There's absolutely no way. Like, she's not Cody. Like, she's not Cody taking Derek to the final two. She's not going to do that. Like, if she did, I would just, that's just like the cherry on top of 2020. Like, girl, come on.
It could go either way. A lot of people could just if it was Nicole and Cody, I could see people just sliding Cody and giving it to Nicole just because. Well,
I think
to be a winner, a previous winner, and make it the final two, that is just all you need to say. Each and every one of you are idiots. I'm gonna vote for her because you all don't know how to play the damn game.
But it could go the other way. It could go the Ian and Dan way, and it'd be like, you know, he's won. Like she's won. Yeah.
It would definitely be like, you know how some people are like, oh, I don't want, you know, so-and-so to represent our season. As like the winner, they do that a lot in Survivor. Like that wouldn't be a good representation of our season. I feel like that's what it would end up being with Nicole. Like if she hadn't won before, like let's say she came in second, then they would probably give it to her. but I don't think that they would want her to be the first 2-time winner of Big Brother, especially she didn't win any comps. You know, she just kind of skated by. I don't think that they would give it to her. And I think,
but every person she wanted to leave left. Like she has even been very, very vocal on live feeds in saying what her intention was. So to those who watch the live feeds, they know that that was her intention the whole time, to be able to kind of work the puppetry that is Cody.
Doesn't know that. Like, we know that because she's talking into the camera, but like she has to convince the jury that in like 30 seconds. And if I'm sitting on the jury and I'm Davon, and I know how Nicole played last time we played together, and I saw how Nicole played this time. She didn't redeem herself. She screwed me again. And Davon, Kevin, and David are going to be a voting block. Like, let's be real. They're going to be a voting block. At least Davon and David are going to be a voting block. I don't know about Kevin. But, like, if I'm Davon, there's no way I'm voting for Nicole again. Like, you just thanked me for voting for you 3 years ago. 4 years ago. Like 2 months ago. You didn't even think.
Yeah.
No. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. It's not happening.
Yeah. Here's the thing about what you said, Jess, is you're like, everybody that she's wanted to go goes or has gone. She talked about that on the feeds this week. She was like, I don't care how it happens. Like, that's like her gameplay. She was like, I don't care how it happens. I don't care who does it, as long as they go. She's like, it doesn't need to be me. I don't need to be the mastermind behind it. I just want them to go. And I mean, it's worked for her, but yeah, I just don't know if I see them giving it to her. I really think Dani is going to do her best to rally against her in the jury.
I could agree with Dani and Davon. However, David and Kevin, not so much. They've been put up by Cody. Like, especially Kevin. I don't see a world where Kevin would vote Cody to win, given that has been his scapegoat. And for him, we're going to be like, you were a coward. You used me every single time. Every time you were you were HOH, you used me as a scapegoat. And that to me is not you doing much. I could totally see that. Other than sometimes it's not about winning competitions. It'll be I would agree with you, Kemi, if it was that they would be a voting block if it wasn't Nicole or Cody. Maybe for like if it was Memphis and Christmas.
I feel like Nicole only wins against Christmas. Like, I don't see her winning against Cody. I don't see her winning against Enzo. So maybe Memphis.
There's no way that it's Christmas and Nicole sitting there at the end. Like, in what world?
Well, here's the thing. I think that this HOH means a lot, because this is going to determine that person who is for sure going to be Final Four. And once you're in Final Four, that's it. Everything, like right now, everybody gets to play the veto, and it's going to be interesting because Cody this is the only time, if someone's going to want to get rid of Cody, it's the only time they're going to be able to do it, because he's HOH. But everybody's going to get to play the veto. So it doesn't make sense for you to put him on the block unless you're planning to, and it's not even considered a backdoor because he's going to be able to play the veto. You know what I'm saying?
That's why you might as well put him up. Like, just put him up. Because if you don't put him up, and if you put him up and he wins the veto, okay, you can replace him. But if you don't put him up and he wins the veto, then you have two people who weren't even targeting on. Like, just put him up. Put him up. Put him up. Hopefully he doesn't win. At this point, I don't even know what they need to do something that Cody doesn't win the veto because like I don't even see what the HOH competition is, or I don't even know what the veto competition is going to be. But I feel like Cody has a good shot at winning. Like, why is he winning everything?
I'm just waiting for the BB updates. Like I'm just staring at my phone. Like, how long does this competition take? Like, I just need to know.
I know. We don't have the results yet, right?
No, we don't. Wait, okay, so who do you want to win HOH?
Christmas, unfortunately.
I would say Christmas as well, just so that I'm pretty positive she's gonna put up Cody, and whether it's gonna be and Nicole, because I mean she's gonna be true to her
wise guys.
For her wise guy alliance. So it's definitely going to be Cody and Nicole. One of them is definitely going to have to leave. To be quite honest, I have no idea why they're still the only pair in the house. I feel like a lot of people really didn't think things through.
They played an entire season together. They've been very close friends after. Like, I don't even know.
It doesn't make sense. Like even Tyler was taken out. Julie asked him if it was a good idea to have taken you out. He says yes. And then he proceeds to talk about Cody and Nicole being a final two as if that was something that was brand new. These two played together. They're friends in real life. Yeah. Why you wouldn't take them out? Why you wouldn't have put them both up?
This whole season has just been too, like, that whole group being so, like, kumbaya around the little campfire, and it's so annoying. Like I loved just, like, seeing the recap of, like, David just walking out and not saying anything to them. Like, I want people to be bitter and, like, mad, and they're all just like, bye, I'm really rooting for you. It's so annoying. Like, I don't know. I just want some drama for once. That's, like, legit drama, not just, like, Christmas yelling in the DR.
But this is true. And someone said they had a wall yeller. The wall yeller said that Cody and Nicole were running the game, for crying out loud. And several wall yellers, and still nothing.
You know, I would love for production to be complete savages and be like, at the beginning of the season, be like, all right, so just to let you guys know, 1, 2, 3, and 4 pre-gamed. 1, 2, 3, and 4 pre-gamed. All right, now play. Because some people will be bitter about the fact that you even pre-gamed. So that would add a little spice. And then if the wall yeller would come still, production comes over the speaker and is like, so what they said was blah, blah, and blah, blah, blah. So what are you guys trying to act? Like, are you still trying to play scared? That's all from me, Bob. And then, like, just, like, cause chaos. I would love that, personally. They would never do it. But, like, I would love to see the chaos it would cause because, like, they know the season's boring. Like, it's boring when the same alliance wins every single competition. And, you know, just add a little spice. Who knows?
I honestly think everyone in the house knows that it's a boring season except for Christmas, because Christmas thinks that this alliance is, like, the greatest alliance of all time. And she says that in the feeds. But everyone else seems to be pretty self-aware. They're like, you know, I know this is boring, but Christmas is like, we are legends.
Our girl Miss History. Hey, girl, hey. I think the season had fake all-stars. None of the final 6 was any good without their cleanup crew from their seasons. I mean, it was very much of, you know, all of these all-stars did have something to prove because they were, like, what, second best, you know? They were just the ones that were, yeah, I mean, I can see that.
If I'm not mistaken, everybody that's left has not been less than, like, a 3rd place, right? Because Christmas and Enzo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
None of them have been less than third, second, or winner.
Oh yeah. So I mean, for the most part, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. It's really gonna come down to HOH. So okay, Christmas is HOH. I think she's putting up Cody and Nicole.
Yeah.
You will? Yes.
Absolutely.
Enzo wins. That's gonna be a little bit more tricky.
Enzo
Christmas and Nicole?
Memphis. Yeah, Memphis and Nicole.
Enzo?
Oh, Memphis and Nicole.
Do you think he puts up Memphis though? I don't think he does.
I don't think so. I think Enzo would. Oh, I don't know, because Enzo, and see, this is the Enzo wild card that I'm saying. Like, I don't really understand his strategy. He's playing a very, very safe game, which is getting him, like I said, to third. But I don't see him past that. I don't see anybody bringing him with him unless he does that clutch, that clutch win, and he all of a sudden has that comp beast in him. But he's lacking a big move.
Enzo puts up Nicole and Christmas.
I think
that's what I think.
What if Enzo goes full savage and is like, you know what, Tyler, you were right, yo. I'm putting up Cody, and he puts up Cody and Memphis, and then Enzo wins the veto. They take out Cody. All right, Enzo just won the game.
Nah, girl, and Moses says it. Whatever Cody wants is what Enzo will do, and I agree with that. I mean, no offense to Enzo, that's just his game, and he played a very similar game on his season. He's the
right. But I feel like Cody will want him obviously to put up, a Christmas and a Memphis combination, whereas I think it's in Enzo's best interest to put up. And I feel like he should know that, to put up a Christmas and Nicole combo, because Nicole is not as loyal to him as she is to Cody, obviously. But I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do. That's what I think he should do, but I don't think he's going to, because I think Cody will push for him to keep Memphis.
They should. This is just it's such a mess because it's so entangled. I think it's like you don't really know what would have happened.
Yeah.
If they would have gotten rid of Christmas, because I think that getting rid of Christmas would have weakened Memphis and would have made Enzo the final two, and then he could have just had Cody and Memphis duke it out, because Memphis was gonna, Memphis would put up Cody and Nicole.
I just would love to see what Cody looks like under pressure. Like, he's never been put on the block. He's never really been put in, or like this season, he's never been put in a situation where he's like vulnerable and like has to kind of scramble. And I would just like to see how he campaigns, like just all of that. And
yeah,
like, it would really make me sick to my stomach if like Memphis wins, he puts up Nicole and Enzo. Like, I don't want another like Memphis winking into the camera. Like, I just want something. And like, I would like to see Nicole, win HOH and then toss up Cody and like
Nicole.
I know it wouldn't happen, but like that's what would get the people going, like that sort of like twist. Like, I would love to see that, but it's
It's we get you, Ashton. It says Enzo's all talk. He's just gross because he says he wants to make a move, but he has played safe the whole time. Enzo's to Cody as Cody was to Derek. Unfortunately, I kind of agree with that. And I also think, like, honestly, people are thinking that Enzo would win in a jury vote, and I don't know. I don't see it. Not with an all-star season, not when they're looking at game. Although, like, Enzo did play a safe game. Again, what does he have on his resume?
Who did he send home?
I was
Pacer?
gonna say that. Who did he say? It was. I feel like it was ages ago. I feel like that was. Can you all remind us? I think it was Kaser. I think it was Kaser
I think it was, but I don't
went
remember.
out. But this is gonna be an interesting one because
I don't think he's gonna win.
yeah, as of right now, it's all they need is one vote. All they need is one vote. This next person who's HOH, all they need is one vote, and if it's tied, they get to decide who's going.
Yeah.
That's right.
Somebody asked who would Nicole win over in the final? Christmas.
Yeah, I think that's it, right?
Honestly.
Maybe Memphis.
Yeah,
Okay.
Memphis has played such a low-key game as well.
He's kind of a dick as well. Like,
I just can't stand him.
He's not the nicest. It's easy to be bitter against Memphis because he either is or comes off very condescending. So yeah, like it would be easy for me not to vote for him, and I'm not even in the game. He didn't even do anything.
Yeah.
So especially sitting next to someone like Nicole, hometown hero. Like,
I think it would all really depend on. I guess we would need to do our homework and try to figure out what type of jury we have and who's going to be a bitter juror. Because I see Dani as being a bitter juror. I don't think she's going. But here's the thing: like I still see her picking Nicole over anybody else. Like I still think that she left the house being okay with Nicole. Like she cried with Nicole. She was like, remember what we said, do what needs to be done. Like, what it is. So I feel like she still left on good terms with Nicole. It was just more being bitter that Cody didn't vote for her and kind of feeling second best.
Yes, I think that's literally it. I think she's like the bitter ex, like in the situation that Kimmy was talking about. Like I think she's like the one that got dumped, and now she's looking at like the the replacement girl or whatever, and she's like, instead of being mad at the guy, she's mad at her. Which I mean, that's literally what 99% of the time happens with people. She's mad at the girl.
Yeah, and at this point, I don't see any of the girls really voting for any of the other girls unless it's Dani for somebody else. If Christmas is the next person to go this week, and that would only happen with what? Ooh, I don't know. Is Christmas okay as a final? Will she make Final Four? I feel like at this point she may make Final Four. I don't know anybody who would be targeting her. I mean, she's really good with Nicole. I think Nicole would keep her over Memphis. Memphis would keep her over Nicole. Oh yeah, there is no way Nicole would keep Memphis. There's no way. Do people here think that if really?
I mean, I think that if Cody were pushing for her to get rid of Christmas, that she would do it. I do. I don't know. I would love for her to switch up and do what was best for her, but I don't know. I just don't see her. I think Christmas is going to be the target next week if she doesn't win HOH.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. I think Nicole would vote Christmas out easily.
Yeah. You think that she has more of that? Like she would be the only guy. I mean, the only girl with Memphis, Tyler, and Enzo, knowing that
would prefer it that way. I think she would love to be I think she'd love to include that in her line, as a line item in her final two speech. I was the last girl left with all these copies. I'm sorry, I didn't. No. That was the intent behind that was not shade. I was just trying to do a voice that was different than mine. But like
kind of like Terrence Enzo, right? Like yo.
But yeah, I think she would like to, I mean, it's an easy thing for someone like Nicole to do, who constantly positions herself as someone who needs, thank you, as someone who like she always puts herself in this kind of like little sister role with people, and it works. It works with people like Cody, people like Memphis, people like Enzo, like those types of guys who like to have their ego stroked. Like it works for things like that, because it's kind of like, I need protection, and you're so amazing, big, strong, and good that only you can protect me. And like whether she means it or not, that kind of stuff, like that is like, what is it? That is like Cody's,
music to
like,
their ears, like
it's like music to Cody, someone like Cody's ears, especially having the season that he had last time. Like he would probably love to be seen as someone who's in a position of power, who can control not only his game, but also like protect someone else's game. So, and that would be a line item that he would like to have in his final two. Like, I not only carried this whole game, like I also protected all of my allies. Like when Nicole blah blah blah, I did this. When so and so blah blah blah, I did this. So like I feel like Nicole knows how to, like, she knows her role and she plays it well. And like there's a sort of like manipulation that goes into controlling someone else without them knowing that you're controlling it.
Absolutely.
Respect it so much.
That's why I say like she has, I mean, honestly, if I was in the jury and she was final two, I would give her, I would give it to her, you know, just like, I mean, and this has nothing to do with the fact that she's a girl, because quite honestly, my thought process sometimes, you know, we get every week I feel bitter about somebody. And right now I'm bitter at all the girls, and I want all of them to lose just so that they could see that not having any women to support them would massively mess up their game, you know, because obviously the bros, they're like 3 peas in a pod right now. Those 3 guys, that's the final 3. That's Cody's final bet. Like that's where he sees himself going. And Nicole might be his number 2 if she happens to get there, you know?
Yeah.
So are you saying you would vote for Nicole over Cody?
I think I would, because I think that there is something to say about you being able to play that card, and people people fall for it. Like she should have left a long time ago. She did manipulate a lot of situations. She she was on a triple eviction alone. All she has to say is that she was on the block for triple eviction 2 times and they didn't take her out. Like, the thing is that Nicole is also, I feel, although she's whiny and although she's many other things, she is a smart woman. And I think that one of the things that I think she can do versus what Holly couldn't was talk about how you win the game and exactly what you did to manipulate the situation. Holly was not good at that. She couldn't say what she did that made her game different, that was able to keep Jackson in the position he was in, because she was too scared to lose the relationship. You know, it was her boyfriend, you know, there were rocky things. So she was really bad at explaining that. Nicole right now has nothing to lose. Like, she already knows. She's been telling us. So I feel like she keeps on practicing that. Every time she tells us that in the cameras, she is practicing her final 2 speech. That's in my mind. Like, she's very like on what everybody is doing.
But I feel like I agree with everything that you just said. Like, but for me as a juror, it wouldn't be enough. Like, especially sitting next to someone like Cody, like it just wouldn't be enough, because even the triple eviction thing, it's like yes, you were on the block twice and you stayed as a winner and we should have taken you out. But did you stay because of something that you did? Or did you stay because Memphis had some obsession with David and wanted to get him out, and then Dani was gunning after Tyler the whole time, and Tyler is now finally in power and has a chance to get him out? Like, you didn't stay. It's the way that I see Nicole skating through the triple eviction is the same way Christmas won that HOH. Like, not through any effort of your own, but just because the stars kind of aligned for you while other things were happening, you just kind of sat back. And like, yes, there is an art in like sitting back. That is a strategy in just, letting other people take shots at each other while you sit back. But if she were to bring up the triple eviction, it's like, I mean, you didn't do anything though. Like, it's not like you were like, yes, she was scrambling, but you also like didn't do anything. Girl, like, don't use that. That's not the hill that you want to die on.
Miss History, thank you for this super chat. She said Dani will be working that jury for Nick Karen as soon as she gets over the entanglement with August. I mean, yeah,
I agree with you, Kimmy. Honestly, I mean, I think that it's exactly what you said. She didn't stay because of anything really of her own accord. She stayed more so because she was getting pulled through, unfortunately, because of Memphis's hatred for David and then Cody's planning. And so I'm like, if you have her sitting next to Cody, like, I feel like that's even more of an argument for Cody. That's Cody to be like, I'm the only reason you're here. Like, I'm the main reason that you are sitting here. Like, that's what I would say if I were Cody. Like, you wouldn't even be here if it weren't for me.
This is interesting. So I wanted to talk about, someone said Nicole's a Karen. Jackie says Nicole is a Karen. I could never vote for a Karen. But here's the thing. I don't think, we see what's going on. Obviously, we see the how she's going back and forth and all of the stuff, but does everybody else think she's a Karen? Because, I mean, let's look at the final six right now. And I don't know if people are looking at Nicole and saying she's a Karen. I see Davon. I don't even know who would be like, she's playing a victim, that would know that she was kind of playing that victim card.
I think they think that Christmas is the Karen in the house. Like, they're all annoyed by Christmas, visibly annoyed by her.
Yeah, I would definitely think that if it was between, oh gosh, that's just, I'd feel very bad for Davon if she had to choose between Christmas and Nicole.
It would be an easy choice for me. Nicole, congratulations on your destination wedding. I hope, no one has to pay that $3,000, entry fee. Amazing. I think no matter if Christmas makes it to the final two, no matter who she's sitting against, I don't think she gets one single vote. I think the jury is swept.
I would vote for any of them compared to her. Like, literally any of them. And I really dislike Memphis, and I would still vote for him over her.
See, and the way people feel about Memphis is how I feel about Christmas. Like, I would bug Julie for a second vote just to vote against her again.
Yeah. I mean, someone says that Nicole is a floater, but floaters do, I mean, that's still a strategy. I think we should go back. Obviously, this HOH is going to mean so much, because if Nicole wins, it will be her first win. She will have the ultimate decision of who's going to stay and who's going to go, unless.
But we only have a few minutes left.
Yeah.
Like reality. Nicole's not winning this HOH. She's not winning this.
I'm totally playing devil's advocate here. I'm not pro Nicole. I'm not actually pro anybody at this point right now. I'm still, I guess maybe I am. I guess I'm pro Nicole or pro Enzo because they're still on my draft. That would be the only reason that I would want. And so all of y'all would want Christmas to win for the people. Obviously.
I guess so. I mean, that's our only choice at this point.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think that ends up wrapping it up.
Yeah.
If anybody has anything else to say, people are saying that Nicole Franzel won. Stop.
That would be crazy, but I don't know. I haven't seen that yet.
This is why I don't play the lottery, because I would have put all my chips on everyone except for her.
I want to say that this is true because their name is Truthful Tiggy. So like Tiggy would not lie to us, right? Because that's your whole name. So I'm thinking maybe Nicole Franzel won.
Maybe. Somebody asked in the chat, are we covering Amazing Race or Bachelorette? We're doing Bachelorette. That's next week.
And Amazing Race is on what? Or is it on Wednesdays too or Tuesday? I don't know. I forgot. I think it's on Wednesdays, but I mean,
I don't know.
So we're gonna wrap this up and right. What was that?
We know there's only 2 CBS shows. There's Survivor and then there's Big Brother. Amazing Race, it's something nice to have playing in the background while you do your makeup and hair in the morning. But
I've never watched it.
I've only watched the Big Brother crossover ones.
Mm-hmm. I got you.
And Corey, and we'll leave it at this. Corey Kington said, Devon already won. What do y'all mean? I mean, for the most part, I don't know about y'all, but my AFP pick for sure.
When do we start voting? Oh, I guess not yet.
Yeah. When they tell us when they tell us to, I guess. That so Hannah, Kemi, last words, anything that you want to add?
No, I enjoyed tonight's episode. Aside from who went home, I think it should have gone the other way. But
yep.
Yeah,
I agree. It was weird. It was weird seeing it. Like, I feel like it was just strange seeing him in that position, but we're getting down to that point where like none of these people have been in jury, so it's just kind of going to be strange no matter what. But yeah, I had a good time watching it tonight and everything, and I feel like we had a good little chat about this. There's not as much to speculate about just because there's not anybody really making big moves right now, but maybe that'll change.
Yeah, we're hoping that. Oh well, I don't know. Franzel, if Franzel wins, I'm thinking Christmas and Memphis. That would be the easy bet, right?
I think
so too. I think that's what will happen, but I don't know. I don't know if I believe. I don't know if I believe the spoilers yet. We'll just have to see.
3 people already said it, so I don't know. There was another person who said, when was it? When Memphis won? And it was like,
yes, what? And I didn't believe them. I was like, no, there's no way. And they were right.
Yeah, well, we have fans that are very in tune with them, with everything. So we want to thank you all. Kemi, any last words?
Thank you guys for joining us tonight. It was amazing. Can't wait to see you guys next week. Tuesday for the Bachelorette.
Yes, Tuesday for the Bachelorette. Make sure that you follow Hannah, Kemi, and I on our social media accounts. Also, girl_LATD on Twitter and on Instagram. We only have about maybe 2 or 3 episodes left until we finalize that and get into Bachelorette on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. Really excited about that. Also, if you don't already, click like and subscribe. Click to receive the notifications. Please give this a thumbs up. Put some comments on there. Let us know what you want to see, what you don't want to see. If there's another show that you want to see covered, anything that's coming up for you ladies this week or in general that you want to kind of promote really quick.
Well, as you guys probably already know, I launched my swimwear line, Like Honey Swim, on Instagram and Twitter.
Hey.
So if you'd like to check it out, check it out. And that's pretty much it for me.
How about you, Hannah? You've been working hard. You've been working hard for that money, honey.
I literally am just exhausted. I have nothing to promote. I just am being my social media manager full time now. First full time job. We're tired all the time, so that's it.
That is so awesome, y'all. And I'm kind of have some things in the works too. I am going to start my own YouTube channel. It's going to be under Jessica Milagros. I have 2 whole subscribers. I'm so excited. I have zero content, but I am thinking about making it a lot of like lifestyle and probably covering things that we might not be covering here on a more weekly basis, on a day by day. I don't know.
Yeah.
If you're interested, follow me. Follow Jessica Milagros. That just look me up on YouTube because I don't even know how that works. I'm learning. Whatever. And we love you guys. Thank you again. I guess we'll see you all on Tuesday if you're watching The Bachelorette, or we'll see you on Thursday for the next eviction. Thank you. We love you.
Goodbye. Good night.